got a reason to do it to start
Good.
with.
All right, we can get going now with the Port City Architects.
Okay, you all set?
Yep.
So with me is our civil engineer, Silas Canavan. And so originally I had Tom Saucy on this. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball on that. Tom kind of semi-retired, I guess, mid-project. So Silas has worked with him a lot, done other stuff for me, and he probably was going to be doing this project anyway, so we're just going right to the source. You got on board a couple of weeks ago, I
Yep.
guess, and we've taken a look. I showed him kind of where we were trying to squeeze the building in between the stream. And can she do quotation marks on the thing? Okay. And the road. And as Silas started looking at it, we can squeeze it in. It would fit there. The biggest problem was the height, I think, really. It's like, because it was so close to the road and it was going to be higher. I went out there a couple of weeks ago with a rod and a sledgehammer to kind of probe for ledge, and it was just kind of like I thought, 10 inches to 24 inches below the surface of the organic peat. So, so Silas said, well, let me, why don't I look at beyond the other side of the stream, which every time I've looked in, looks like it was just going up the side of a mountain. But lo and behold, it goes up a little bit, and there's a nice little plateau. So we've talked about it. We walked it last week, so we met with planning, your code enforcement officer, just make sure there's other things that we're not, that make sure we're aware of everything. And I'll just have Silas kind of present kind of what we're looking at right now, and why you can tell them why we think it's so much superior.
Sure. Thanks, folks, for inviting me to talk with you. As Andy mentioned, my name's Silas Canavan with Canavan Civil Consultants. Just got on board, but excited to be part of the project. I just wanted to give a brief, I know you guys have seen, obviously you understand what the existing condition looks like, but just to give you a brief background, and for those watching maybe. So this is the site entrance right here that goes back to the transfer station. And then this is the community television building right here. And then this is that, what they're calling a stream in the back, right along here where my cursor is. And what the challenge that presents is the setbacks. So DP requires a 25-foot no touch buffer and a 75-foot setback that you have to meet to the extent practical. So the only way to squeeze a building in here is like what you had seen, I believe, the last time you met with Andy. He came with this concept. So what this is involves, the building is butted right up against that 25-foot setback. It requires us to move the site entrance to the north a little bit in order to provide, the room to actually get into the new building. And then parking becomes a challenge because it's really tight, and you kind of end up having parking on both sides of what's essentially a through street here to get up to with traffic to the transfer station and such. So it's not the ideal layout, and then it's also challenging grade-wise getting back up to provide these folks at the TV building more parking, and just the elevation in general of this building. I believe there would end up being a 2 to 3 foot cut in order to even that's maximizing the height of the building given the grades that reasonable grades coming up from the road at our new site entrance. So as Andy had mentioned, because ledge is pretty shallow on this site, it'd be pretty expensive to blast and lower the site in order to put this building in. So number of challenges. So what we did is we ended up looking across the stream, kind of like Andy had said. I colored this one up just so it's a little bit easier to see what's happening. But this concept involves not touching the existing road, so that alone is a pretty big improvement to the overall layout. Just because of, for one, you don't have to rebuild the road. For two, maintain site access into the transfer station throughout the course of the project. It also, eliminates the tight proximity to this building and their parking and stuff right there. So it does involve crossing the stream, which is currently called a stream right now. And, but fortunately, since it's a pretty narrow channel, it would not be a massive, stream crossing. I picture it being like maybe a 4 to 6 foot wide box culvert with possibly a buried invert, something like that, and then fill up above it. But what this does is it really opens up the site in the back, because, we've got just a lot more room. We don't have all the restrictions of the existing road, the existing building. And then another thing I didn't mention too, but maybe Andy mentioned it last time, is the other concept we looked at also required a lot of relocating of overhead utilities, just because they happen to fall right in the only place we could put the building. So there'd be a lot of rerouting of that. So, another expensive piece of the project that hopefully we can avoid. So this gets, most of the development outside of that 75-foot setback, which, would be much better from a permitting perspective from the DEP standpoint. And then it just gives us a lot more room, and it also allows our, the apparatus apron out front of the bays and the parking areas. It just allows them to be a lot more gentle grades. And the other concept we were looking at like 5% grades, kind of coming up to those. Now we can do reasonable 2% grades, which is much more comfortable to park and walk on. And especially if you got, the large vehicles out in the bay to, wash or maintenance or whatever needs to happen when they're sitting out in the bay or outside of the bays. We have factored in the potential addition down the road. Chief, I believe, had mentioned that possibly maybe having a pull through. So we haven't obviously drawn that in now, but there maybe is potential to do that out the back and loop through, possibly a future phase or something. If that is a potential option, we would want to think about the overall elevation of the building and make sure that that's reasonable to do in the future. So we can certainly factor that in. Now, the one caveat with this layout is that we don't know yet what the wetland situation is beyond the stream. So we do have another wetland person lined up to do that in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to have them take a look at that. They're also going to give us a second opinion on the stream. So,
And Port City's gonna pay for that. I talked to Christie about it, so, feel a little bit culpable bringing in our consultant, so I'm gonna pick up the second consultant to kind of give us a second opinion under our fee.
So DEP's position wasn't final then?
No, so, some pretty young new guy in DEP came out, and, Flycatcher told him like, yeah, this is, and they weren't even there, so they just said, yeah, they've identified a short area as potentially defined as a stream. And he just came out and went like,
Easy thing to
yeah,
say, okay.
yeah, it's a stream, and walked off. So, I just, like I said, seeing it 3 weeks ago, seeing it last week, there's no water at all. I mean, I guess you can have an intermittent stream, but, and I'm not an expert in all this, but I'm like, it just common sense tells you that, it's not, it may or may not be. So we're gonna have Silas's wetlands consultant, plus we need to map that upper area there, so I'm just gonna, which was in Flycatcher's kind of scope, but I'd rather just get somebody new to kind of take a second look at things on it.
Yeah, and I would add too, the person that we're pulling in to do this, he's actually a former DEP employee, so he knows the regulations very, very well. He worked at the DEP for quite a while, but, in my opinion, he's also probably the most fair, for both sides for doing these types of determinations. So it may still be a stream, that may end up being the case in the long run, but, I think it would be good to get a second set of eyes on it from somebody who's knowledgeable about it.
Yep.
So.
And if it's 20 feet a stream, like I was told earlier, then, we could maybe, it's a little savings if it's not a stream. You just put a regular culvert in. You don't need an open bottom culvert. If it's a stream, it's still all a permit by rule, still a lot less effort than what we were, talking about before, but I think definitely this is the way to go. And the other thing is we have a lot of, so Silas just kind of laid this building out this way, but we've got room back here now to like, maybe we want to turn it sideways, maybe we want to, do, because this is pretty flat all the way left and right as we go through here. It's kind of a big, plateau up there. So we're going to look at, and with Mark, we're going to look at, is it less expensive to turn it this way? Does it give you more opportunities on the site, more opportunity for expansion, for a drive-through bay, that kind of thing? So right now, it's like I'd pull it back right now maybe, because it looks like that one drive's kind of on a steep, area. So, but we have room in the back to move it. We have breathing room now, I guess, is what's nice up here. And before, we were just hemmed in on all sides.
Yeah, so this was kind of a first pass at this layout, It does require some fill to get up to that grade, because it is, it is higher out there, but.
It's cheaper than blasting.
Much cheaper than blasting, exactly, and that's the idea. And again, just with the more flexibility we have out there to really get what you guys want, not just what fits, is important.
It's
What's
much better
that?
look.
I'm curious what the distance is from the community drive to the station.
From here up to here? I can tell you, give me 1 second. About 300 feet is what I was remembering.
To the face of,
The driveway, basically, the driveway of the station.
Yeah,
to the apron less, I think.
let's see.
Just thinking, all the lengths of hose you could lay down in the driveway hose testing on
Well, 300's a sweet spot for that.
So it's about 200 to the front of the apron, 150 to the front of the apron. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 220 to the front of the apron, and then about 290 to the back, to the face of the building.
So I mean, it's not huge, it's not really up there for the public, but I think it's better. It's just a better location.
Can I ask, when you get ready to finally place a building, will you keep in mind turn radiuses for the truck to be able to turn around and get in? And not just the fire truck, so there's gonna be trailered boats getting stored there as well.
Oh, okay, good to know.
So,
Do you know how?
I mean,
Sorry.
I think Marine 5 is probably the longest, and on the trailer, that's probably, I'm gonna guess 28 feet long, the trailer itself.
It's closer to 30.
Is it?
The tongue and
Two
outboard hanging over there.
Yeah. Is it 3-axle?
2-axle.
2-axle.
Okay, well, we'll look at a 35-foot trailer, make sure there's some breathing room there.
Yeah. And, I mean, just looking at that, having those 3 parking spaces in front of the future bay, it seems kind of strange to me, rather than just pave the width where the future bay is going to be and move the parking spaces off to the side, so you don't have to redo that when you do the
Yeah.
future bay.
Agreed, yep. Yeah.
We can also go back to that T shape, I think, works a little bit better for circulation into the bays and gets the bunk rooms kind of out on their own. And so, like I said, it just gives us a lot more
Flexibility.
opportunities, on the site here. I was, like I said, just assuming that it just kept going up, and I didn't realize there was this nice little, flat spot in the back.
In relation to the boat again, what size vehicle do you use to pull that boat?
It'd probably be a 1-ton, like a F-350.
Okay, all right, so, but you're not pulling it with your large fire trucks?
Long bed at most. Right now, the current truck is a short
Yeah.
bed, but
Yep, okay,
The other airboat will probably be in there also.
okay. And I think what Andy had said is your longest fire vehicle is about 30 feet long?
32.
32.
and a whisker, I believe, for the longest vehicle in town.
33.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why I was really hoping for the drive-through part of it is backing a boat and trailer,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and it was set up like this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of asking for opportunity that we don't want.
Yeah.
So if there's a way that we can go around and drive through from the back for that, or for that matter, if you've got 2 vehicles, I never see anybody actually drive both vehicles straight. They usually back them up to each other so they come out on either side, so you don't have to move one truck to get the other out.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do that as like an add-all, the loop, the paving, so it's an opportunity, and
The big thing is making sure we're set up for it in the future,
Yeah.
one way or the other. And if our senators come through on it, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's, the elevation is gonna be the driver on that, so we wanna make sure we got it up high enough, because the site does rise as we go to the back, so we just wanna make sure we don't put it too low.
And if you turn it sideways like you're talking about, so that the face of the garage comes out that way, that actually gives you some opportunity to swing around, or back in, or whatever
Yep.
else, rather than right straight out the front like that.
Yeah.
That's the reason I ask, because I'm looking at how you ever gonna maneuver around when you're coming right straight onto a building like that.
So you have one nice exposure right now on the south for future solar opportunities too, on the roof. It's not a bad setup at the
Oops,
moment.
sorry.
Like north, you have a nice southern exposure.
Right.
Look at, yeah.
But we'll look at, flipping it, spinning it, so, because we have options, and just see what seems to make the most functional sense of it and the best economical sense, for working it, so, and bring that back to you guys. So,
I think another real positive thing about this too is that we don't have to touch that whole overhead wire.
Yeah, you're
Lot
saying
hole.
that.
We don't have to deal with any of that anymore. Like, that just stays where it is.
Yep.
when the estimator likes it, that's a good thing. Yeah. Anything else, or?
How wide would that driveway be? Wouldn't be an issue for two trucks passing?
No, I would envision it being 24 feet wide, so plenty of room for 2 trucks to pass.
Will it be the only road in town that actually has paved shoulders?
It's actually a great-looking site.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think, I don't know if you got a little bit of time to walk through it, Mark, you might want to see it too. I might want to go up there again after the meeting here, just to walk up, and if you guys want to see it, we can walk up. And
Sure.
I think it's good. I think you'll appreciate what we're showing here better. So anybody that wants to come up can.
Something else you might want to think, I think this building is going to see more use than we're planning on it with our volunteers coming together for training and stuff. And that looks like a lot better parking arrangement, and I think there's more spots than we had originally.
Yeah.
But I could see times where we're gonna have, maybe only happens once or twice a year, like when we're having a Christmas dinner or a recognition event or something like that, where if there's space, so they could still park on the side of that parallel park on the side of that driveway, come in. Makeshift, I'm not talking about stripe it or anything, but if it's wide enough so you can still get trucks in and out,
Just on
they
the
could get
side.
off to the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yep, sounds good. Of course, we also have to factor in, I know there's a 30,000 gallon fire suppression tank we need there as well. And then septic we need to think about, now that we've got more room, maybe it makes sense to just do its
We can do
own
it there,
septic,
or we can still
or we
pump it
can pump
down
it.
to the,
Yeah.
you got your cursor right there.
Yep.
So this is where we were looking to put the, the septic system for, expand it out on that kind of point right there. So we could still pump it there, or if there's a spot up above, we can do that.
Yeah. But the sky's the limit for getting perk tests all around that right now, so. Going to the south, it'd be a gravity feed, by the sound of things.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, like I said, apologize, it took us a while to get here, but I think we're where we should be, and this is definitely the best, I think, most economical, most functional location for the building. So I think we're ready now to kind of really hone in on fine tuning this site plan. Mark can then really start going on numbers. We can start doing getting plans ready for planning board, and we'll shoot for that for this fall, and as soon as whenever we can get on an agenda, or as soon as you can get something going, and then probably get us permitted over the late fall and winter, and hopefully get here from Senator Collins by that time, and then start getting in the ground in the spring is the plan right now.
So so this limits the blasting. If anything, it makes the construction process go a little bit smoother, right?
Absolutely, yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I would say limited, but I mean, there could still be a little bit of blasting that's necessary, just because there are a couple of rises out there still that might have to be shaved down, but the extent of it will be significantly less and, you know, a lot cheaper.
How about getting something on Mountain Road from both directions with flashing lights that we can activate from the station that says emergency vehicles entering? Just because of the speed of Mountain Road coming down over that hill.
I've done, the most economical one I've done is, I don't know if your headlights do what's that little flash?
All the wigwags,
Yeah,
or traffic preempters they use for street light, or traffic lights up in town. But the problem with that is you gotta be close enough and it's gotta be direct on for you to see.
yeah, that's what, I mean, I put
It's
in
not
like
enough time to activate.
self-contained signs that flash when, or you can, you know, set them off. But we've done that, and like in Berwick, I did that, so it just flashes when you're coming down the road.
Yeah. I'm just afraid that by the time it sees it, when you're around the end of the corner of the driveway, you're already almost at the end of Community Drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough time for that to activate.
Yeah,
Oh,
Well,
you think the activation on, you want
should be like something down on the,
flashes on Community Drive or on Mountain?
Mountain Road from each direction on either
or right
side.
at the start of Community, maybe, right there, too.
Well, I just want to slow people that are going, especially the ones that are going westbound on the mountain road.
Yeah.
Coming down over that hill.
But we might be able to get a remote sensor or something that would activate the lights, and they could just be solar powered.
Yeah, I mean, the state puts in the rapid rectangular traffic flashing beacon packages, the solar packages, and figure out some kind of activation. Those are a no.
I mean, all the rest of our stations are all on 35-mile-an-hour posted roads.
Right.
And this one being 45 mile an hour on the way they come down over that hill, that's all I'm worried about, especially if they're gonna come out, they're gonna take a right and head that way. The swing they're gonna make, you know, you got some line of sight, but that doesn't mean that they've slowed down.
Yeah.
Everybody's going 55
Yeah,
Or more,
yeah,
or more.
or more.
Yeah.
just because of the speed of that section of road.
Yeah.
Huh?
Either that, or maybe it's cheaper to put up one of those solar-powered radar signs that says this is your speed to maybe get their attention or something.
We,
And then you don't need the remote sensors, it just tells them what their speed is, and maybe they're thinking about how fast they're going.
the town could put that up. We have one down at Basin, one of those. On the way to the Dolphin.
Yeah, so maybe that would be the same.
And
Can we go to the DOT and request a reduction in speed? I know it doesn't slow cars down necessarily, but
We could from the top of the mountain road.
yeah,
Yep.
have a section between there and the town office and
don't know
that section to the Mountain Road Bridge or something
Yeah.
would be 35.
It
You know?
helps.
Don't we have to justify that by population density on the road or something?
Well, I know you put an emergency services building and I'd be willing to bet you can make an argument that, to your point, Ben, that you got trucks coming and going that DOT could reduce.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could just get them down to the posted speed limit, that's why I was suggesting the radar-controlled
Yeah.
speed limit sign.
But
I mean, I like, even though we turned to the other one at a 90 more, I like being up further up the road here too.
Yep.
And there'll be good sight lines from that driveway onto the community road there.
We could talk to DOT.
Okay.
We do all the time.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right, any other comments? You guys, everybody
No,
Looking at
agree
some
that
of-
we're in
Looking at
the,
some of the action items, Christie had mentioned about impervious surfaces, that she was gonna get our town engineer in contact with you or with Silas. I don't know if that happened or not.
oh, I think we're covered percentage-wise.
Yeah,
She just wasn't sure, that's why she
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that you guys were in
how many
contact.
100 acres?
so we didn't,
We're good.
we didn't specifically talk about impervious coverage at the meeting we had with the town planner, but I can certainly reach out to them, you know, if that's a concern of theirs. But I don't know if maybe they might be talking about in terms of DEP permitting thresholds for that, because if you get over an acre of impervious, then you need to get different permits than otherwise, so.
Not
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's what she was referring to, this whole compound. Because this is all on one contiguous. lot.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
She did have concerns, that's why I just wanted to.
yeah, yeah. no,
Because,
well,
yeah, she said somebody at Owen Haskell or something had when they were looking at another project, was talking that they were nearing the,
Just split the property.
yeah.
So what, do you know what else has been built here since 2006?
Nothing,
Nothing since 2006?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, even the TV building's old in that, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. 26, I think.
Well,
26.
paramedic building was after that, 2006.
Yeah, down over the hill.
Site location, you know.
13 years ago, the paramedic
Be
building
in
was
the
there.
site law for it, no.
That's right out here.
Okay, that, right next to town, the town hall building?
It's a little
Yeah,
building right next to
no,
the
it's
road.
like right here somewhere.
Is it that one that's sort of vacant right now?
Yeah, that's it, there you go,
Okay.
sorry.
That was 13 years ago.
Okay,
That's the latest one.
okay. All right, yeah, we can look into that a little bit. I know there's currently, there are not any AP permits on the site, except for, I think maybe the transfer station has a, probably a solid waste permit, but, I don't believe that would affect this one.
You don't even have to move the gate or nothing for this. That's good.
We want to have a conversation too at some point, Andy, about the transfer station.
Yeah,
Going on that.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Can you guys approve the minutes? There's a couple
So moved.
there's a couple of weeks worth, or a couple of meetings
Yeah.
worth.
I read them. Second it.
All in favor?
All in favor?
There you go.
Okay, it's official.
All right, anything else, or we'll
No.
walk up over the hill?
I think, I just like wanna kinda keep you up on the important pieces.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know, I'm sorry, I feel like it's been a little slow, but I think we're moving.
I feel so much better.
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
worried about the constraints we're having, fitting that in there.
It's getting really tight.
That was gonna be like constructability, that was gonna be challenging to do everything
Yeah.
perched on the edge of the road, and, I mean, we could make it happen, but this is gonna be easier, because you can
Yeah.
just put a truck down there, and you don't have to move it to get the other, where the dumpsters are, whatever, so.
Yeah.
This is a positive direction on this, definitely.
okay, all right. I was gonna walk up there if anybody wants to, if it's not pouring rain, I think it looks okay still.
Oh, Terry got that. Oh, Terry, knock the camera off.
Calling Terry Goday Mobile.
Oops.
Mine doesn't
Yeah,
go
we're
off.
we're going on a field trip. All right, but
How did you turn yours off?
I want to just keep listening to you. I know you got
Mine's rigged.
You gonna join us for the walk, Jeff?